Okay, we're now at the oldest palace in Morocco. Although when you search it up, it might show Marrakesh, but definitely the oldest palace in Fez. It's part of what started Fez, and what you're looking at here is actually the Jewish quarter. And it's interesting because before even Islam, or during Islam, there was a huge Jewish population in Morocco, and obviously now Fez as well. But essentially, the first king to occupy this palace during the Marinid dynasty in the 1200s was Muslim, but given the population of Jews, he ensured their safety and had a Jewish quarters next to the palace. So considered to be nicer in a way, maybe he's looking over them, watching, but protection nevertheless, right? This is a beautiful property here that we have going on, and this palace is actually really beautiful. There's plaster wood, marble, tile, and it is constantly renovated, and by constant I mean since 1200s. It's been renovated most recently from the 60s to the 80s. In fact, these doors were only crafted from the 60s to the 80s. Even the tiles around the door were done by hand and chisel and a hammer, and it took more than 20 years from the 60s to the 80s it was done. But nevertheless, it looks beautiful, and it is definitely the oldest palace in Fez, probably Morocco, but if you look it up, it says there's some palace in Marrakesh that's older. Alright, so we're now walking on a random street in Fez, but you might notice that little slant of a manifest of independence, and basically that was written in 1944 proclaiming Morocco's independence from France. So Morocco was occupied by the Portuguese, Spanish, and then the French most recently. Alright, this was 3 dirhams, which is a beautiful price. I just got it off some vendor. It's just a form of bread. I think it's sweet. Let's find out. Not that sweet, but look at the layered. It's beautiful. We're actually walking through a nice alley. Look at that. But this is a really solid 3 dirham bread. Alright, so we're currently in what's actually the entrance to a school. This specific area is actually an area they have dormitories. Like, you see those windows? There's about 14 dormitories for 14 boys. They also have a washroom here for the entrance to a mosque, which is, I guess, praying before school.
5 is a lot.
5 is a lot.
No, how about like 130?
Okay, as my mom tries to professionally negotiate more than them, I got a wallet. It says Morocco on it. I'm just an absolute dumbass because I was like, all right, I'll do it for 100 dirham. Then the dude tells me, no, I'll give it to you for 50. So clearly I don't know how to negotiate because I asked him for a price like double what he was going to charge me anyway. So like, I'm just stupid. But anyways, this is actually a beautiful little Morocco wallet.
You're bargaining more than Moroccan. You're welcome.
So this is a Moroccan pottery factory, and pottery is really big due to Morocco's need for food storage and preservation, mainly grains. Food's even stored in tagines, so those are made out of clay. And the influences were Arab, Roman, Phoenician, even Spanish. And you can see here someone painting. Alright, we're now looking over into the city of Medina, which is the inner part of Fez, the first part, the oldest part, the most important part. You see this wall right here that protected the city, and then there's a wall on the other side. You'll probably see it in the other videos, but essentially this city became important. It wasn't meant to be important. It was meant to be a quick city This wall was simply to prevent like flooding and to preserve the water on the inside, things like that. So it was actually a very fertile land in the 12th century, early times. By the 14th century, this wall was not doing it for them, because where I'm standing right now, you could see the entire city. This didn't serve as protection. They didn't think they needed it for protection. Eventually, by the 14th century, they built a fort over there and another level of walling, which actually protects from attacks and other circumstances. So it's actually a really cool story, the progression of the city, how it became popular. Now it's the modern day. You have a highway right outside the city that connects the inside and the outside. It's really interesting because we started somewhere over there where the royal palace was. We made our way through. We went to a mosque and an education, a school, I guess. And now we're coming to the outside now, looking in over the hill into the city. This is a huge meal, 27 dirhams, $2.70. I'm gonna try Moroccan bread dipped in some sort of like, actually I'm not gonna dip it, I'm just gonna try it.
It's like Croatian. It's not warm though.
Low key, the one on the street was better. Look at this massive thing for 27 dirhams.
This is like mid deep. I mean,
Insane. I'm gonna dip it in some of these sauces, try. You got yogurt, coffee and milk, everything. It's beautiful. Okay, we are now in Sefrou. Sefrou is a town outside of Fez. You're seeing a lot of policemen here. Actually, in Fez, we saw policemen with machine guns. Here, they only have batons. It's an interesting difference. This area is clearly poor. And what's interesting is this area was occupied by Jews. In fact, we're in front of a Jewish school founded in 1927. But the rich Jews moved to New York. The educated Jews moved to France. The poor Jews moved to Israel. So we're now in an area outside the Medina of Sefrou, so outside that gated area. And this is where Berber Jews used to be. Obviously not anymore, there's very few, there's only 3,000 Jews in all of Morocco. However, it's a really cool area to see, now taken over by Islam, the Muslims, but it's still beautifully scenic. Alright, we just finished eating in a cave, a beautiful cave here in the hills, the Atlas Hills, but this is just one example. Back in the day, before 1950s-ish, Berber Jews were basically living like this. So in these hills, not only these establishments were created, it was mainly like caves, and we just had some beautiful food cooked for us. So we're just walking on the streets in this town, and there were these kids that ran up to us and offered us like these coasters. I said I didn't have money. They were like, no, take. So I was like, shukran. But I got 3 of them. One of the kids gave me like a ripped up one, and luckily my dad was able to give them some coins.